Okay, so first and foremost, I want to acknowledge our community because this is an important part. Thank you, thank you, thank you to Lake Harriet Spiritual Community for holding this space, container. They are allowing you, they are inviting you, they are encouraging you, they are supporting you in having the resources that you need to be able to reinforce and galvanize yourself in this trying time. So blessings to those who are holding space. Blessings to those who are holding space. Holding space not only in spirit, but holding space in our creative expression. I'm a stand-up comedian in addition to doing lots of other things in business and coaching and speaking and performing in a variety of ways. But there's a lot of different containers that are being held for us as we show our resilience, as we show our adaptability in this. So honor those people that are creating those spaces for you, because this is the doorway through this. Community, community, connection. That is our invitation. Remember how hard it will get. No matter how hard it will get, there's always a gift in it. There's always a teaching in it. There's always an opportunity for you to integrate this and choose better. Show up more empathetically. Be a stronger participant in the oneness that is us. I want to just acknowledge all these people that are here today that have shown up for this community, this center. If you are showing yourself in visual format, who here is a member of Lake Harriet Spiritual Community? Give me a clap. Give me spirit fingers. Give me spirit fingers. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you very much. I want to acknowledge you. Yes, thank you. And some of you may or may not be from Minnesota, but I just want to give a special shout out to my fellow Minnesotans. You've done well. You've cared for each other. You've sacrificed. You've walked through this journey as sisters and brothers. And I thank you for that. I hear the rain outside. I watched Prince, Purple Rain, Prince's live concert from 1985 last night. It was so beautiful and so inspiring. And I have purple twinkle lights out on my deck. And so it's purple raining today. So I'm going to hold on that energy of that Minnesota genius and tap into that as we continue to protect our brothers and sisters in Minnesota and beyond. I'm referring to what's going on in this day and age as the great what is. I don't like the word pandemic, and I don't like the word COVID. They both sound like something that I'd get at a doctor's office on a prescription. I will not use those words if I cannot help it. Because those words have energy to them. For me. Those words have energy to them that connote fear and powerlessness and the worst of us. Disappointment. Grief. I refer to it as the great what is. That's just what it is. So instead of energizing that this is an invitation, dear one. This is an invitation to deepen your practice of resilience and acceptance. And here's the math in it. As the stronger you get inside and out, the more you will be effective against what you cannot control anyway. You'll show up stronger. So I'm just going to share with you today what I'm doing, mostly. I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I am committed to being the best possible version of me, more than I ever have been before. This is our time to take off the training wheels and to stop bullshitting around and to show up. And to show up for our children, for our neighbors, for the earth, for the future. So how are we going to do it? Let me show you. I've created a map. So I'm going to share with you something, tell you a little bit about who I am and what I know. And Zoom, please, dear, sweet, I'm begging you, let's have the technology gods in my favor today. And here we go. I'm going to share this. It says mindful performance. It's my jam. It's what I know. It's what I've written about. It's the core of who I am and how I show up in the world and what I teach other people. We all have heard it, and we all know we need it. The question is, how? How do you actually do it? It's complicated. It involves presence, being here. The great what is. Not what I wish it could be, not what I thought it should have been before. The great what is. Awareness. How am I showing up every single day? What is around me? What is powerful? What is supportive? What is encouraging? Focus. What are you doing? How are you actually showing up? Are you giving all your energy out there? Are you giving all your energy to your social media allies or adversaries? Are you giving all your energy to those who would use you and manipulate you to sell you something, whether it's a product or an idea? And conscious choice. You are a sovereign being in a container. And we are all within one global container, as evidenced by the great what is. We're going to talk about this container, each one of us. Not the crazies, not the lunatics, not the unwoke, not the hurt, not the wounded, and not the insecure. Ourselves. Here's my map. It all starts with paying attention inside. We're going to start at 12 o'clock. I'm going to give you strategies that I'm doing right now, mostly, in each one of these areas. Movement. How do we move our bodies and our energy? Meditations. How do we quiet our minds? Manifestations. What are we consciously creating? Meetings. How are we interacting with others? Mentors and masterminds. Who are we hanging out with? Messages. What are the words that we're using to ourselves and to the world? Media. What are we taking in for content and what are we sending out? Messes. Owning our shit. And meals and Z's. How are we restoring ourselves? How are we providing nutrition for ourselves, our vehicles? This is the journey we are going to take today. So when we look at what we can control, the first step in that is really being focused on only that which we are doing. Don't waste any energy about what other people are doing. Now, that's not to say that you are not encouraged and invited to have a voice and to share that voice. Be active. Do that which you can to affect change. But don't judge anybody else. It lowers our frequency when we do that. It's about being good to ourselves when we fall and acknowledging how hard this really is. So whenever you see someone doing something that is offensive to you, antithetical to your value system, something that scares you or makes you angry, I want you to consider what aspect of that is in you. For example, one of the core issues that's rearing its head in this great what is racial disparity, inequity. Sexism. Where have we done those things? Where have we judged? That's hard work. It's hard work to look at what we've done. But this is what it's inviting us to do. It's really easy to complain about other people. Super easy. I do it all the time. It's a lot harder to look at what we're doing. So when we talk about movement, we're all stuck in chairs. We're sitting too much. We're rounded over. We're hunched across computers, glowing rectangles. So one of the ways that you can show up stronger is to move. Move your body. For me, right now, that movement looks like some yoga in the morning, maybe. The more, the better. And I'm setting my alarm, I'm putting a calendar invite to move, to walk outside, to go outside for however long I need to. That is a little thing, but a huge thing. Get outside, breathe in the air, feel earth underneath your feet. See the expansiveness of Mother Nature and her power of creativity. Breathe in that medicine. Movement. Write it down. Don't go, yeah, I know I need to get outside. Write it down. Put a Post-it note by your phone. When will I move today? When will I move today? The more sedentary you get, the less active you get, the more rigid you will become, and the less able you will be to move energy. So move. Number 2, meditations. Find those micro meditations that you can do. I'm going to share with you at the end of this service a success visualization that I recorded prior to the Great What Is that walks through all 9 aspects of my model, guides you through that. That's about a 30-minute meditation that you can use, that I will gift. Sometimes I sit for 10 days. It feels like 10 days. It feels like 10 days. 10 lovely, lovely days in vacation. 10 minutes in front of the altar. There's my altar. And my offspring sits there when we sit together. Sit. Just sit. Just sit. Right now, we're going to just do a mini one, and then we'll finish talking through the model, and then we'll do a nice juicy meditation at the end. Just sit with me for just a few minutes. Breathe. Feel yourself sitting on the chair. Slow down. Deepen your breath. That's the key. Micro meditations. Pepper them throughout your day. Slowing down. Breathing. When you can slow down your cadence, your internal cadence, you will have a clearer mind to make informed choices and not ones from fear, not ones from anger. Number 3, manifestations. What are you energizing? You're an energy source. You have amazing power within you. What we think becomes an action and creates the life that we have. What actions do you want to take? What life do you want to live? What thoughts are you using to create them? These are your seeds. They are seeds of manifestation. Every thought is a seed of manifestation. What are they? What are they? What are these seeds? I am energizing health, a strong immune system, vitality, that I will bring all the energy that I need to show up as powerfully as possible. And I am energizing empathy, unity, transformation. I refuse to participate in the frequency of fear. There's enough people doing that. So what do you want to manifest? Be clear, be deliberate about what you want, how you want to be through this, instead of thinking potentially thoughts like, oh, I hope I don't get it, and I hope my family doesn't get it, and I hope I can make it. I hope I can survive. I don't think I'll make it. There's no room for that anymore. Be clear, be deliberate, and be positive about what you are manifesting, because you are a very, very powerful source. Crystallize it and focus it on the positive. When I feel ugly, I remember that beauty lives here. When I feel sad and weak, I look at my refrigerator that has a sign that says, "What are you grateful for?" In my office, when I feel afraid that I won't make the money, good vibes. Manifest. Surround yourself with positivity. Be clear about what you want. Meetings, people with each other, connecting with each other. I have not been social with anyone since March 8th. I've been out of my house in a car less than 3 times. In fact, my car battery indicated as such yesterday when it went done. Meetings, connecting with each other. It's really hard when we're doing it through a screen, because you all just look like you're on the Brady Bunch. But you're a heart behind this little dot. You're a beating heart with the same worries and the same challenges and the same desires that I have. Every single one of us. So when you're meeting people, whether it's your loved ones through FaceTime or your friends through Facebook, or those who you're in your home with face to face, grant them as much grace as you're granting yourself. Just like you, they want to be happy. They want to be at peace. They want to be healthy. Choose empathy over judgment in your meetings. Be softer. It takes great strength to be softer. It makes us work harder to see the other person. Like I see right now my sisters and brothers from Lake Harriet Spiritual Community. And while I can't give big bear hugs under the dome with the stained glass, I can feel them. I can feel you. I can feel you. This is our center. What the Great What is teaching us is that what we thought was our center, our minds, keep going, keep going. What we see, what we hear, what we taste, what we feel, what we smell, everything is about this sensory mental experience. You're either here or you're not here, out of sight, out of mind. We're making the journey because we are given an opportunity to live here. In your meetings, start from there. For example, an hour before this container was created, I started to energize the Lake Harriet community. I started to reach out to them from my heart. I burned some sage. To bring them in to a sacred space. I connected with Gary, the holder of this space, the staff holder. And that helps. Because we're reminded of our humanity. We're reminded of our sameness. So as you're moving that body and getting it more energized, and you're quieting your mind through these micro meditations, and you're energizing your positive thoughts by clear definition of your dreams, sink into your heart for those connections that you have with each other. And mentors and masterminds, who are you hanging out with? It matters. Who are you hanging out with in physical form? Who are you hanging out with in your social media realms? Who are you hanging out with in your professional communities? Who are you hanging out with in your spiritual communities? Who are you learning from, leaning into, supporting, and being supported by? Elevate. Pay attention to how you feel when you plug into these communities, these spaces. Do you feel encouraged, inspired, powerful, hopeful, smart, resilient, successful, strong, healthy, vibrant? If the answer is yes, keep going. If the answer is no, ask yourself how you can shift, pulling out, changing by being a brighter light yourself. Notice the caliber of your communities and your teachers. And I know, I will say, I'm going to give myself some grace. I know my dear friend Ella gave me a little shout out that said that I was using some naughty language. I'm sorry. I get all into stuff. These are unusual times. They're unusual times. So this particular teacher says some F-bombs and occasionally. I think maybe I did. So we've gone through movement and meditations and manifestations and meetings and mentors and masterminds. Now we're going to go to messages, the words that we're using. From the very first moment you wake up, what words surround you? For me, when I set my alarm, I have love your life, good morning, gorgeous, and get it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fireballs. Okay? That's how I start my day. That's how I start it. And it's an opportunity to to be an auditor of your world, like emails that you're sending, posts that you're making, that you're putting out there. What words are you using? I love sweetgrass. Sweetgrass is the bomb. I use it to sweeten a space. Charge it with blessings. Lighten it up a little bit. Boom, 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 boom. See, it's heavy energy. It is. It's heavy energy that's going on right now. And so when we get real into our inner landscape, our material, how we're showing up, it gets kind of dense and intense. And so sweetgrass, I find, lightens the load a little bit. So words matter. Elevate that frequency. Elevate it. Say, instead of I can't, I won't, it's, all those things. Turn it on its ear. Why the heck not? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to really captivate your creative potential and go, I'm going to have this. I know it's hard. I know it's dark, and I know it's scary. From one vantage point. From another vantage point, you all woke up this morning. From another vantage point, the rain is clearing away the dirt. From another vantage point, we get to choose how we can be change agents. The messages we use. The media. Be a content curator. Be a content curator. What are you taking in? The frequency of what are you taking in, and what are you sending out? For me, I have found that I don't need to watch the news. I'll find out well enough in just the various ways of me living through social media and through being in meetings. I'll find out what's going on. I don't need somebody else's narrative. It's helping me. It's reinforcing me to not be plugged in to that narrative. It's going from a macro to a micro. Remember, the container. What do you control? What do you control? You control your container. your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relational, recreational, vocational way that you express yourself. Creative. I've been doing comedy. I've missed comedy a lot. And so I've decided that some of the media that I'm going to send out is laughter. It matters how we use these machines. It matters what we take in. So look at your browser history. Look at who's on your friend list. Look at the channels that you're going to and watching. Look at the apps that you're using. Without judgment, just look. What is it? The great what is out there. The great what is what's in here too. How are we choosing? I, for one, am binging on Parks and Rec because I find that it keeps my mood elevated whenever I do want to numb out and I don't feel so sad. So pay attention to the media you're taking in. That's a hard one. That's a hard one. Messes. Own yours. Own yours. That's the best way we can start to align ourselves with a greater frequency of integrity, true integrity, and leadership, spiritual sovereignty, resilience is owning ours. Find the messes. And I'll tell you, this is one of my biggest areas for growth right now, because I'm leaving a lot of messes, relationship messes. Because for me, my version of the great what is that I'm so busy and working so hard, and the little energy that I do have left after giving it a lot in the job that I have, I'm reserving that energy for my own self-care so I can keep going and going and going and going and going and going. Not just going in body, but going in mind and going in spirit too, right? We can phone it in anytime we want. We all have. But I'm talking about true showing up for each other. So as a result of this work schedule and creative projects and need for restoration, I have contributed to messy relationships, neglected relationships, friendships that are important to me that I don't have the capacity to give to right now. So owning that is the first step toward healing it. And then I want to talk a little bit about our bodies in meals and Z's, eating and resting. These are actually foundational choices that we make. I have started to be more conscious of that with abstaining from alcohol, which is allowing me to feel better, wake up earlier, um, not take in extra calories I don't need because I'm not moving as much, and not being a depressant. So I've done that, and that's hard. And I'm eating more mindfully, writing down everything that I'm eating, and that's hard. Especially when you're done eating, you've gotten your calorie allocation for the day at 10:30 in the morning. That's a little rough, but I'm really trying to pay attention to that. So I ask you to do the same as you're working through strengthening yourself in this time. And don't go for perfect, right? Just do a little better, pay a little more attention, and understand that there's a correlation between how well you eat and how well you sleep with how well you live. They are directly correlated. And those are hard, and they're uncomfortable, and they don't feel good, and they don't taste good. And they're so much better for you. So there's a navigation of the mindful performance model. I feel, before I sink into a quick meditation, I feel almost like I want to apologize, and that's interesting that that's coming up for me. I thought I was going to be all soft and light and fun, and I don't feel like I was any of those things. Oops. Sorry. Can't. I got intense. It happens. So now we're going to call in some energy here. So find yourself getting situated in a nice solid space. Let's feel some energy, shall we? Instead of talking about energy management, let's feel it. So this is my drum. I made this drum in the basement of Lake Harriet Spiritual Community on my 40th birthday. It's deer hide. Its name is Kayumari, and it's a very special tool that I use. In addition to the sage and the sweetgrass and the candles and the medicine baskets and the roses and the meditation pillows and the foam roller and the candles and the music and the movement and the dancing that I'm about to do. As soon as this is over, I'm going to pop over to Dance Church Minneapolis and get a little bit funky, moving my body and joy and spirit. I'm going to sing for you a little bit. So just breathe. Take in all of the things that I shared with you today. The encouragement, power, the strategies, the tools, the mindsets. And I'm going to just sing a song that I've sung in the past in my own spiritual practices, which is not yours. Nobody has the same spiritual practice. Everybody's got a unique connection to the divine. This is just mine that I share. As we all breathe together. Relaxing. You can even drum with me on your hands, on your knees. Bring your own drum out. Just a quick little song to bring in powerful energy that is beyond us. And I use the words in this particular song, Holy Mama, just because that's a nice expression of the divine for me. The feminine, there's a balance of masculine and feminine in all of us and in the divine. So I'm going to just bring in that feminine side right now. That powerful, powerful feminine. That creatrix. And as you breathe in, you hear this song, I want you to just imagine that your container, your physical and mental and emotional and spiritual bodies are elevating, illuminating, energizing, healing, transmuting, transforming, expanding. Holy Mama, holy Mama, come to me. Holy Mama, holy Mama, come to me. Holy Mama, holy Mama, holy Mama, come to me. Holy Mama, light my way. Holy Mama, light my way. Holy Mama, holy Mama, holy Mama, light my way. Holy Mama, hear my prayer. Holy Mama, hear my prayer. Holy Mama, holy Mama, hear my prayer. Holy Mama, light my way. Holy Mama, light my way. Holy Mama, holy Mama, holy Mama, light my way. Holy Mama, light my way. Holy Mama, light my way. Holy Mama, holy Mama, holy Mama, light my way. Hear my prayer. Walk with me. Be with me. Fill yourself up with light. Fill yourself up with energy. Every cell in all of the spaces between the cells, feed them. You are so much stronger than you know.